Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to learn something about the switch statement. So let's say you want to create a Java program in which depending upon different ratings you want to comment something. So let's say we have an option for rating, like we have a rating from 1 to 5, and depending upon the rating if we want to comment something, so for let's say for the rating number 5 we want to display a comment as excellent, and for rating number 1 we want to display the rating as very poor. Then in that case what we could do is that we could have a variable called integer rating, and depending upon the rating we could type in the if statement, and we would have to write the if statement for each and every rating. So we have to write if rating was equal to 1, then we have to print in the statement as very poor, and for rating equals 5 we have to print in the statement like if rating equals 5 then excellent. So instead of typing the if statement multiple number of times for each and every case, what we could do is that we could use a switch case. So before using a switch case, let's go ahead and create a variable called as rating. So as you could see, we have the variable as rating, and let's say the rating is equal to 4. And now in order to decide which comment we want to publish depending upon the rating, we go ahead and create a switch case. So in order to create a switch case, we type switch, then in the parentheses we actually want to display, or we actually want to put in the variable name which we want to use so as to switch between different cases. So in this case, as we are going to make a decision depending upon the rating, we are going to type in the rating variable here, and we are going to create a body for a switch. So we have an opening and a closing curly brace right after the switch statement, and within this switch statement we are going to type in the cases. So let's go ahead and type in our first case. So we type case, then we specify the condition. So for case 1, that is rating 1, we actually want to display that we have a poor rating. So we type system.out.println and we display poor rating, and whenever we end the case we are going to type in the break statement, and what this break statement means is that the program execution should stop right after executing this case. So this is the case for number 1, that is the first rating. Now let's go ahead and create the ratings for the remaining 4. So we simply copy the statement and paste it multiple number of times, and we replace this case by 2, we replace this by 3, this one by 4, and this one by 5. Now once we have the cases for all the 5 ratings, let's go ahead and change the content inside the comments. So herein we type bad rating. For 3 we could type as average rating. For 4th one we could type in as good, and for the final one, which is when the rating is 5, we could type in as excellent, and make sure that you spell excellent correctly. Now as you could see, we have 5 cases here. So the first one is for poor rating, the second one for bad rating, third one for average rating, fourth for good, and fifth for excellent. So what happens is that whenever we are going to execute the program, this switch right here is going to check in the rating, and that is because we have specified rating over here. So in this case, as rating is 4, it is going to shift the execution of program to this line of code right here, as this is going to be the 4th case, and then it is actually going to execute this line of code here, and when this line of code is executed, it is going to display good onto the output screen, and finally as a break statement is present over here, it is going to stop the execution of the program. So now in order to check if our program performs correctly, let's go ahead and save the code and let's run the program. And as you could see, when we run our program, we got the result to be good, and that is because we have specified 4 inside the rating variable, and whenever we specify 4 to the rating, it is going to switch to the 4th case, which is this right here, which is going to display good on the output screen. Now let's go ahead and change this to 2, and now if we save the code and if we execute it, as you could see, it is going to display bad rating. That is because this has switched to this line of code here, which is going to display bad rating onto the screen. And actually I have misspelled rating here, and that does not matter because that's not the point of this tutorial. The point of this tutorial is to understand how to create a switch case statement so as to execute some line of code depending upon a particular condition. So we are going to use switch case whenever we have multiple options and it becomes inefficient to handle multiple options by using the if statement. So in that case we are going to use the switch case statement. So basically we are going to use the switch case statement when we have multiple options to choose from, and it becomes inefficient to use a if statement in such cases. So always remember, whenever we are creating a switch statement, we type in switch, then inside the parentheses we actually need to specify for which variable we are checking the condition. So in this case, as we are checking the rating, we are going to mention rating here, and then finally we create cases for each of the case. So we could choose as many cases as we want, and we could type in here what happens when a particular case is called. And finally, when we execute the line of code inside a case, we finally add a break statement in order to stop the execution of the program. So that's it for this tutorial, and I hope you guys understood how to create switch case statements in Java. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.